Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Hello, greetings and welcome. Episode 198 of the Atom Radio Best Bits of Breakfast podcast. And this is Mark Denholm from The Breakfast Show, which you can check out Monday to Friday, 6 until 10 on our various listening platforms. I'll tell you more later. This week in the podcast, we have Twitter before Musk. We have old tech versus new tech, knowing your worth in a crowded place. And speaking of worth, how about how to get rich and measuring your wealth? We have the strangest reasons to give away gifts. We talked about dream homes and what feature you would incorporate. And with the World Cup starting on Sunday, we talked about how you could get to watch England's game on Monday.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Twitter is said to be more addictive than cigarettes, according to a recent scientific study. I would imagine this recent scientific study was done before Elon Musk bought it because people are leaving in their droves. And the blue tick thing, well, that is a disaster from start to finish, and it's suspended as well.
This is Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
Atom Radio.
If you're feeling a little forgetful this morning, don't worry. The human mind, ironically, tends to forget the things it should remember and remember the things it should forget. Oh, well, we're only human, aren't we? We are only human.
Mark Denholm at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
Morning, welcome to Monday. Mark Denholm at breakfast, banging out the anthems. 11 years ago, Coronation Street became the first primetime TV show in the UK to feature a product placement when a nationwide building society cash machine was shown in the episode after ITV signed a deal with the company. Wow. I mean, just wow. Groundbreaking. Somebody uses a cash point machine in a soap. Groundbreaking, that.
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
21 years ago, Microsoft entered the video game market with the launch of the Xbox. Much of the Xbox's success came down to the game that it was launched alongside, being Halo. And now just think, like Xbox One X and S, massive at Christmas. PlayStation 5, massive at Christmas. And if you've still got an original Xbox, I would urge you today to fire it up. If you've got an Xbox One S or an Xbox One X, fire it up and look at the graphics in comparison. Same with the PlayStation. If you've got a Series 1 PlayStation, fire that up and look at the graphics and compare it to your PS5.
This is Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
Atom Radio.
It was this day 32 years ago, Milli Vanilli producer Frank Farian held a press conference to confirm the rumours that the two members of the group, Rob and Fab, had not sung on any of their hit records. Oh, remember that? Didn't go down well, did it, if I remember at the time?
This is Mark Denholm
at breakfast.
Atom Radio.
There are about 7 atoms in a human body. We got there in the end. The thing is, you're listening to the important one. Haha, see what I did there?
Mark Denholm
at breakfast podcast.
Yesterday, if you cast your mind back, we asked you if Jeff Bezos was to give away his fortune, as he says he will during his life, and wasn't giving it to climate change charities and was giving it to you and I, what would you do with your little bit of it? Now, I worked this out yesterday as well. Jeff Bezos has £15.5 billion for every single one of us alive. And then that got me thinking, right, if he's got £15.5 billion, a lot of the world's population probably are in the poorer countries and don't have an awful amount of disposable income. Therefore, how much money have the rest of us spent in order that Jeff Bezos has managed to accumulate a fortune of £15.5 billion for every person alive, with the worldwide population hitting 8 billion yesterday? That is a question in its own worth thinking about. How do you get to be just so rich?
Mark Denholm at breakfast.
This is Atom Radio.
To your emails, and yesterday, browsing the socials, I noticed an advert for a florist. It's an e-florist, and their tagline was, because there's always a reason. And this got me thinking, birthday, there's a reason, anniversary, there's a reason, and I messed up. That's also a reason. When you mess up and you feel to apologise, flowers is always a good one, is it not? But then that leaves me 3 reasons in a year, maximum, to get flowers. So I don't see how there's always a reason. but obviously the florist exists to sell flowers and make money, so they have to convince you that there's always a reason. Today I want to know what has been the strangest reason that you've ever given either flowers or a gift. On air at atomradio.co.uk if you want to get involved, just like Tim has done. And Tim says, looking back now, this makes me just cringe, but I remember buying a little teddy bear, and this little teddy bear was holding a sign that says thank you, and I gave it to a lady on our first date. And when I look back now, it just makes me really, really cringe. That's Tim says that, by the way, not me. I didn't say that. I'm not judging, but Tim does say, looking back on it though, it does make him cringe. First dates are always so difficult, aren't they? Because you're obviously keen, because that's why you're dating, that's why you ask them out, and that's why you're there. But then you never want to come across as too keen on a first date, do you? And it's problematic, isn't it? You know, yes, I'm keen, obviously, because I asked you out, but I don't want to come across too keen. And I don't know if a cuddly teddy bear or not, Tim, on reflection is too keen. And what you've also not said is whether or not you saw the lady ever again. Did the teddy bear work? And did you get a second date out of it, Tim? We need to know.
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.
A 2010 study shows that students who meditated for 10 minutes before an exam scored at least on average a grade higher. Maybe not.
This is Mark Denham.
At breakfast.
Atom Radio.
We're talking about a 4-bedroom home which is available for sale right now. £900,000. It is in Sussex. It's got an open plan, sun-drenched kitchen, got a dining room by the garden, bifolding doors that opens out to the garden, and a sea view. But the actual main selling point is if you're upstairs and you want to go downstairs, you can go down the stairs without using the stairs. You can go on the inbuilt slide, just like one you'd find in a playground. There is an actual slide that you can go down inside the house. You can buy this place in Southwold in Suffolk for £900,000. I want to know today, though, if you were able to design your own home, maybe from scratch, or perhaps renovate your home, what feature would you put in? And morning Phil says, now that you come to mention it, I'll just settle for the slide, to be honest. And who wouldn't, Phil? If we're being honest, who wouldn't settle for the slide? I'd love to have a slide in my house. The only reason, I mean, I've only got a small house anyway, so I suppose I could either have stairs or the slide, and that would then be a problem to get upstairs to come back down the slide. It would be problematic, but in your case, Phil, who wouldn't want a slide?
Mark Denham.
At breakfast. Podcast.
6:16 morning, welcome to Friday. Mark Denham at breakfast, banging out the anthems. Surveys been done of retro chocolates that Brits would like returned. Fox's Echo, Cadbury's Astro, Cadbury Fuse, Mars Delight, Kit Kat Caramac, Milky Way Crispy Rolls, Cadbury Time Out, Cadbury Aztec, Cadbury Marble, and the top one, Cadbury Dream. I don't even remember what most of them were, if I'm honest. I didn't like most of them, but I don't even remember what Cadbury Dream was.
This is Mark Denham.
At breakfast.
Atom Radio.
Welcome to Friday. Sunday sees the start of the FIFA 2022 World Cup when Qatar take on Ecuador, the host nation, in a, well, not really must-watch game, is it? But if you are an England fan, the opening game, therefore, that you will have great interest in, happens on Monday at 1 o'clock when England play Iran in their opener for the World Cup 2022. It is right in the middle of the work day or the school day, however, which is a bit of a nuisance if you are set on watching it. It's going to be a bit annoying given that you will be expected to be at work or at school at the time of the World Cup. I want to know today, therefore, what is the best excuse you can come up with that you would be able to watch Monday's game at 1 o'clock? Now, obviously, if it was the 4 o'clock kickoff, you could just maybe start early and finish early, and that'd be fine. But 1 o'clock is right in the middle of the day, and it's a bit of a nuisance. On air at atomradio.co.uk is my email address to get in touch on any given day, including today. And I think Rich has put a bit of thought into this as well. Rich says, I would tell my work that I've got a landlord inspection on my flat on Monday at 1:30. Therefore, I would need to be home to tidy up and that and make sure I was there for the landlord to do the inspection. And that gets me Monday off to watch the game, and I'm all sorted. But then, obviously, there will be other England games to watch, and I could say that the landlord has identified some things that need work done, and That would then be my excuse for the next game and the game after that as well, that the landlord has arranged for tradespeople to come round and do the work at the time of England's future games. Now, I'm just thinking here, Rich, a great idea, and yeah, it does work because it's an excuse for Monday that can then be extended into future fixtures as well. But just how many of them can you get before somebody notices that all of the appointments happen to coincide with England's World Cup games?
Mark Denham.
At Breakfast Podcast.
I suppose the big question is it coming home? Last weekend, England won the Cricket World Cup, the T20 World Cup, and now England men hold the 50-over and 20-over World Cups. I've not heard a single person as yet talk about England as favourites for the FIFA World Cup, which starts on Sunday, and England's first game will be on Monday as well. If you like a drink while you're watching the football, probably best not, really, given that you won't be able to buy alcohol at all inside the stadiums. I do wonder whether Qatar carefully thought about placing their bid for FIFA World Cup 2022 or not, and whether they felt that they were compatible with hosting the World Showpiece in terms of football, or whether indeed the World Showpiece was compatible with Qatar. I don't know. But anyway, that kicks off on Sunday, and England open their campaign with a game against Iran on Monday at 1 o'clock. Hardly a football heavyweight, but you never know. It is a World Cup. Nerves can sometimes get the better of you in that. England open their campaign 1 o'clock, and hopefully some of the excuses that we came up with, you could maybe even adapt into reasons yourself. Or you could just be honest with your boss and say, I'll be doing no work between 1 and 3:30 because I'll be watching England. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you for checking out the podcast. You can listen live Monday to Friday, 6 till 10 on atomradio.co.uk, TuneIn Radio Box Streamer, iTunes Radio, and indeed your smart speaker. Just say play Atom Radio on TuneIn and it will oblige.
Mark Denham.
At Breakfast Podcast.